Hey guys, Jonathan Brown Menzies coming at you from South Station in Boston, ready for another adventure. Today we're going to the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery, the oldest pet cemetery in America. I was looking at ways to get there. It's outside of Boston in kind of the suburbs. So we're going to take the Franklin line, get off at Dedham Corporate Center. The train ride, I believe, is about 25 minutes, and then we're going to take an 8-minute Uber ride. Here we are, guys, on the train, first leg of the journey, starting off at South Station, and we're going to go to Dedham Corporate Center, which is a 22-minute train ride. Take an Uber 9 minutes to 55 Anna's Place. That's the address of the pet cemetery. There goes the train, guys. 22 minutes to Dedham Corporate Center. Now we're going to walk over to this mall called Legacy Place, and I think that's the best place to get an Uber to the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery, which is only an 8 or 9 minute drive. So here we are, guys. We made it. We're at the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery in the Riverdale section of Dedham, Massachusetts. This looks like the cemetery office here in this red house. And the pet cemetery, I guess, you just walk up this path, and it was an 8-minute ride from Legacy Place Mall. You go through the town of Dedham, which is very charming. So again, I went South Station to Dedham Corporate Center, which is right next to the Legacy Place Mall. Then got an Uber and an 8-minute ride, so less than half an hour from South Station in downtown Boston. I'm here out in the sticks at the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery. So we're gonna explore this, check out some of the history here, check out some of the old gravestones, and just gonna walk a little bit up this hill and get right back to you. Just show you some more of the grounds a little further up the hill. This is the Animal Rescue League of Boston shelter. You can hear some dogs in there, and it's nice. They got a big park for them to play in, run around. Very, very peaceful up here. Just show you guys the 360-degree view, and I think we just keep walking. Oh, I'm trying to see that sign up there. Advanced shelter parking. Just going to figure out which way to go. I think we're on the right track here, guys. A couple of small gravestones. This is actually the cemetery driveway, which was given in memory of Bozo Pom Pom and Judy Chum, so that's nice. Looks like, oh, maybe there is a gravestone. Enya over there, but this looks like just kind of the beginning of it. I don't know. We'll see. This is the old part of the cemetery, and I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to try to zoom in, but there's a deer all the way back there. Can you guys see him through the trees? Nice place for a deer to go. He knows he's safe from the hunters. Oh, he hears my voice. See his ears perking up there. But anyway, the graves I'm looking for are Igloo, which I think is over there. Igloo, it's shaped like a iceberg, and Lizzie Borden has her 4 or 3 dogs buried here. So I'm gonna look for that grave as well. Just to give you guys a little bit of background information, the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery is the oldest pet cemetery in America, and it's set on 10 acres in Dedham, Mass. The Rescue League's website says the grounds are a beautifully kept, secure place to visit. Tour the historical section for a glimpse into the duration and depth of the human-animal bond. Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery's historical section dates back to the early 1900s. The cemetery is open every day from dawn until dusk. Here it is, guys. Igloo. He was more than a friend. Igloo's grave is shaped like an iceberg. Igloo accompanied his master, Admiral Richard Byrd, on his first Antarctic expedition. Igloo was Admiral Byrd's companion during a winter spent in solitude. Rest in peace, Igloo. Just get the 360-degree view of Igloo's grave. Not a bad place to be. Igloo's got a nice view for eternity. Una, a faithful friend, and Una lived a nice long life from 1874 to 1890. In memory of my devoted companion, Prince, and Prince lived from 1914 to 1926. This is a very old gravestone. And right next to it, we have B, a loving companion from 1874 to 1889. Check this out, guys. Flash, Blanchard, Crossman, Loyal Dog, and Jocko, the parrot. And they died on July 1st, 1954. Faithful friends of Marguerite Blanchard Crossman. Guys, I just want to read a quote that I found when doing research for the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery. Straight out of a Stephen King novel with melancholy trees, sad inscriptions, and mold on the stones. And I can definitely see that. It is a little bit spooky here today. It's an overcast day, no sunshine, kind of dark, dreary. You never know what's lurking behind those trees. Booty, our devoted pet, who lived from 1937 to 1952. Again, a nice long life. And Becky, the pet named Becky, who passed away on April 12th, 1952. Look at this. Oh, there's Tinker. Here lies Tinker. Very simple. I like that. Judy Shaw from 1937 to 1952. A lot of these pets have rather long lifespans. Inky from 1941 to 1951. Bogey. Look at this. Moss right on top. Smokey Brady. Baby Hildy. Can you guys see that? Wow. Oh, beloved Afghan. I think that's what, a dog? Is an Afghan a dog, I think? And Penny Potter. 1955 to 1967. Some of them are just simple markers like this. You probably have to go inside and they can tell you. There's a list on file with all the pets. And here's three. Rudy, Lisa, and Mac. We don't know if they're dogs or cats. 15, 11, and 10 years old. Champ, Pockeye, or Pokey, and Scamp. Empy, Lady, Bridoy. I'm probably saying that wrong. Ginger, Chips. Oh, this is actually it's not that old. It's just an older style. Chicha. Changi Atwood, 17 years of age. Wow, that's an old dog. He was so loving, loyal, and intelligent. Darling. Happy Shed. Sandy Kine. Tinker. Taffy. One of my personal favorites, Our Dear Little Pal. What a great name for a dog. Our Dear Little Pal. Oh, and Snowball, 1956 to 1965. Bijou Summers, 14 years old. Oh, and then his brother or sister, the cat, Timmy Summers. We got Blackie Toots, Blackie Shorty, Miss Penny, who is a small corgi, Tammy Bryant. Over here, can you guys see that? It's not really organized like a traditional human cemetery. It's more scattered. Nip, small gravestone for presumably a small dog. Kitty Favuza, and check that out. Wow, get an idea of what Kitty looks like. Jill, 1947 to 1960. And Janie right behind her with Fifi and Husky over here. Check out this one in the back. This one looks really old. Loki, 1915 to 1927. A little brown dog who lives always in our hearts. Oh, I like that. And we got Bobo shaped like a heart there. My devoted pal Lindy and Buddy. Gonna make our way down this hill. And it's nice, they have two kind of enclosures that you can sit in, just kind of relax, observe. I'm sure people come here to grieve a little bit. Check that out on the top. There's a birdhouse that's kind of built into the top of this observatory thing. Wow, look at this. Oh yeah, these look old too. And there's another kind of scenic overlook there, a little shelter. Really mossy, getting that Stephen King vibe again. Definitely would not want to be here at night, that's for sure. Very, very quiet. Half an hour outside of Boston and you don't hear anything except the birds chirping and the deer running by. This old stone wall, my God. Lady Gove, Johnny Keach, and Sonny Keach. Oh, and it tells the owner, Mrs. W.W. Keach of Providence, Rhode Island. Oh, these are very small. Our Al. Jigs the dog, Scotty the dog. Look at this, guys. Bingo Cornell. Can you guys see that? Bingo Cornell. Connie Cornell. Now somewhere around here lies the dogs of Lizzie Borden. Look at the names here. Nappy, Patty. Oh, look at this. Very, very nice gravestone built with kind of rocks from the beach. Maybe this dog liked swimming at the beach. Oh, this is actually just kind of a generic general monument to the many dogs that have given their lives in service to man. Wow. Check it out. And he's keeping a watchful eye over the cemetery day and night, as dogs always do, sleeping with one eye open. Here's an old one here. Jane, our monkey? Wow, I guess there's a monkey that's in here. I guess it's not only dogs, it's a pet cemetery, so it could be anything, who died in 1916. Check this out here. Little stone wall built around this in loving memory of our dogs. 1926, HS and AHS. So I guess this is probably a family of dogs buried inside here. Wow, a lot of downed trees there. I think we had a windstorm recently which took a lot of these down. Daisy, Gora, Pee-wee. But the one thing about dogs, they don't really care if the grass is perfectly kept. They kind of like it like this. Dig holes. Midgie, Whitey. Oh, look at this. This kind of gives you a idea of how big the dog was. Buster. Look at that. Fit right in there. And Tabby Dewey, who lived from 1898 to 1910. He was only a cat, but he was human enough to be a great comfort in hours of loneliness and pain. And when I was doing research for the pet cemetery, somebody left a really interesting comment about Dewey. They said, think of how much that cat experienced in his lifetime, even though it was only 12 years. He lived through the first flight, the reaching of the South Pole, the discovery of E equals MC squared, and the Boer War. His owners attended some of the first Red Sox games in history and traveled back home via the newly built South Station. Dewey had a pretty interesting life. And then somebody wrote in response, pretty sure Dewey was happily oblivious to all that. Here's a shout out to Dewey the cat. And right next to him we have Susanna Hull, our beloved and loving friend, and another member of the Hull family here, our dearest friend and companion. And we have New England Boy. We don't know if that was a cat or a dog, 1908 to 1911. And then here simply Mac, when a name is all you need. Check it out, guys. It's the gravestone for Lizzie Borden's dogs, and interestingly enough, there are some coins left on top. Wonder who left those. Donald Stewart, Royal Nelson, and Laddie Miller. And I really like the inscription on the bottom, sleeping a while. And according to the internet, Lizzie Borden's dogs were white Boston Bull Terriers. After Lizzie's death in 1927, her 3 dead terriers were dug up in her backyard in Fall River and moved to the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery, where they still lie in peace. Capulet, the best dog in the world. I know, love, I had a dog. That is so true. Here's a really old one here, 1912, I think. Kind of fading away there. Again, I'm the only one here, guys. Not really a huge tourist attraction, but I think it's one of those under the radar places that people would enjoy a lot more than kind of the traditional run-of-the-mill Boston tourist traps. Kind of making our way up the hill past the grave of Sonny, Bobby, and Patty. And as you can see, there's a lot of room for expansion here at the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery. Plenty of room for new residents, and check out this new field in the back that's completely just grass. I think that's part of this complex. They got room for many more pets. It's not a bad place to be. Here we are. Midge was a lassie, and Ronnie making our way into the rough. Shamrock and Gypsy, Darby and Butchie and Joe, Bill Thorpe. And is that it? There are some that are kind of scattered. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it for this area. Oh, here's Joe Weld, and there's another lassie further up. And here's another very old one. A couple of very old ones. This one's really faded away. Oh, in Patches. Patches, nice spot under the tree here. And oh yeah, you can see these kind of old markers almost just blending right in with the landscape. So we're just going to make our way further down to the other section and see what we see. Mittens, French Bulldog, lifelong companion of Edith and Harold Stork. And Mittens lived from 1923 to 1934. Nice long life. What is this? Dinny from 1914 to 1929. Let's see what's on the other side of this one here. Oh, this is very old. Monty Nelson. So check this out. Here's Rowdy and Sophie, loving and loyal. What do we got here? Oh, looks like a German dog. Ketty, Erwitz, Fritz, a Dachshund. How do you say that? Dachshund. Snooky. Oh, the sun's coming out. Feels good on such a chilly day. What do we got here? Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, this is very old. Chip, who lived from 1907 to 1920. This gravestone has some decorations here. Wow, look at that. Nice stones kind of going around. A lot of thought went into that. 1912, 1922, Rector something. Can't quite make that out. Bowser Brooks over here. And I want to check this out. Looks like one of those huge dogs. Is it a St. Bernard maybe? Is that? Oh no, it's one of those Portuguese water dog type things with the fur that goes over its eyes. Jessie is in there. Jesse's keeping a watchful eye over the whole cemetery. Great view. And wow, look at this one. Oh, this is, again, kind of like a general memorial. What does this say? Faithful guardian of Pine Ridge. Oh, Fido. Fido and Basil. They died in 1919 and 1926, I believe. Been around a while. Buffy Bancroft. My pal Snooky. Snooky from Jersey Shore. Maybe Snooky from Jersey Shore stole that name from a dog that's buried in the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery. This is pretty cool here. You guys see that? Don't know if you guys can make that out. Dog's name is Pat, and it says ever a loyal pal on the bottom. And it's a whole family of dogs here. Just gonna make our way to the bottom. Probably about 70% done. Oh, look at that. Is this a mouse that's buried here? A mouse's grave. Oh, it's kind of really faded away at the bottom. You can't really tell. It could be some kind of a dog. I'm not sure. What do we have here? Dolly. Dolly. Everybody thinks of a sheep. Back in the day, it could have been a dog. It says faithful friend for 16 years. What do we have here? Jetty Page. Pompoy. This is kind of shaped like a mushroom. Timothy. I don't even want to attempt to say that. Some nice detail here. This dog has a gravestone with kind of a metal cutout of what he or she looked like. So we get that idea in our mind. Pretty easy to imagine that dog running around here right now. Fleta, Dixie, Peachy, and Loki. Here lies the O'Neill family of dogs. Snoozer, Buffy, Beauty, and Teeny. And then we have Mittens at the bottom, the oldest one, 18 years old. In memory of our dear baby. And this is a stone with a plaque on it. Remember the faithful dog Sandy, 1910, 1921. Still not a person in sight. Been here probably 30 minutes now and have not seen one person. Crinkle Kingsbury, 1906, 1921. And just gonna walk over to this last section we haven't explored. But yeah, what a great underrated place to go visit. A lot of history here. And again, I like the fact that it's not a tourist trap. So many places in Boston are. Waiting in lines, paying big money. Go to the Red Sox and pay like hundreds of dollars to go to some guy's $40 million salary. Give me a break. I'd rather do this. Let's see. Joffrey, Dr. Foster. What do we got here? Master and Dickie. Oh, Dickie was a bird. Okay. Loving and loved companion of Mr. and Mrs. A.E. Bedford. Snipes, Niggy. What's this say? Jerky? Oh, Jerry. This may be the oldest part of the cemetery. Buzzy. Patches. Bobby Shirley. Bobby Shirley. Just gonna kind of take a walk through these last few rows. Beaver Boy. I like that name. Beaver Boy. Bina. Jackie. Our Darling Top. Bozo. Ming, the Faithful Chow. Barney. Hoppy Peeler. Prince. We won Nixon. Our pretty, our joy, he lives in our hearts forever. We loved him so. Venus, Monk, Tiny Rawson. Major Horgan and Major 2. There he is, Chico. Chico, 14 months. Oh, that's too bad. 14 months. Boots and White Nose. That's a great name. White Nose. Carry up, and another gravestone with kind of a cutout of what the dog looked like. Can you guys see that? Buttons, Little Audrey, Zuzu, Buster, Tippy, Dutchie, Queen. All right, guys, just gonna walk up to the top of the hill here and then wrap it up. This has been a great little getaway. Kind of do it in the span of a couple of hours. Half an hour to get here, half an hour to get back. Very peaceful and quiet. Heather and Divine. Is that the name of a dog? Toss. Spot. Rodney. Trixie. If you're looking for dog names, trying to think of an interesting dog name, this is a great place to come get some ideas. Oh, and it keeps on going. Look at that. Chubby, Goldie, Maury, Rusty. That's a popular one. Mittens again. I think Mittens we saw before at one point. Some of these are still old, but it's mixed in with some new ones kind of on the other side. Kenny, Jeffy Young. These are, let's see, from the 50s, 40s, 50s. Some flowers here. Where were these? I don't know. Our Loving Pal. And this looks like the newer area. Yeah, now we're kind of in the 70s with this one on the left. This is still in the 60s here. Duchess, 1963. 3, Bonnie, Jonathan, a devoted companion. Yes, he was. Sam, Pumpkin, Inky. Yeah, we're still in the 60s here, guys. Oh, and the sun is out, warming up my hands. My pet Roxy. Oh, look at this. Mama's babies, Francine and Nadine. Well, I would highly recommend a trip out here, guys. If you're in Boston for a vacation and you want to make a trip a couple of hours outside of the city, or actually half an hour outside of the city, if you want to spend a few hours outside of the hustle and bustle, if you want to do something that a million other tourists aren't going to be doing. Wow, look at this. This road is completely covered with moss. Lady King here. I highly recommend this. Puggy. Oh, there he is. And I wrote down some general information about what the graves cost here. Still, as you can see, plenty of room, especially since they have that extension. There's going to be plenty of room for a very, very long time. Of course, go to their website or call them for the most up-to-date information, but I want to give you some information, the latest that I was able to find. Lots cost between $650 and $1,000 depending on the size, and there's a one-time $250 fee that takes care of maintenance for eternity. And they don't do headstones here, but they're in contact with companies that specialize in that kind of thing, and they can point you in the right direction. They have a list of monument companies that'll do that for you. Another nice thing, if your pet is sick, you can call them at the cemetery here and they can pick your pet up from home or from the vet. There's an extra fee for that, but that's definitely a nice thing that they offer, because that can be a particularly hard time for a pet owner. That about wraps it up, guys, from the Pine Ridge Pet Cemetery, the oldest pet cemetery in America. Jonathan Brown Menzies saying this is highly recommended. If you're familiar with my scale, this is a 10 out of 10. This is a great tourist attraction, no crowds, the price is right. You're going to learn a little bit about history. If you like this video, guys, please hit that like button. Please comment. I read and respond to all comments and suggestions. And if you really like this video and you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe. Till next time, guys, Jonathan Brown Menzies signing off.